I have wanted an Analogue Pocket pretty much since they were announced, but I did not pre-order one. However, from what I've heard, that doesn't really matter because people are now just getting their pre-orders almost at the end of 2022. Maybe you're patient and maybe you're still waiting, or you're part of Fulfillment Group C, which is coming in 2023. Really, Analogue? 2023? You're not even gonna give us like a ballpark estimate like you did with the last two groups? Regardless, I am not one of those people. And unfortunately, I ended up scrolling endlessly online until I was able to find a reasonably affordable one. So this is my Analogue Pocket review. Let's go. Now, before we get into the review, please make sure to go hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It's free and it really helps show your support. Now, if I'm being completely honest, I did not think I was going to be able to get my hands on one of these things for a very long time, or at least without paying an exorbitant amount of money. But luckily for me, I found a super nice guy on Facebook Marketplace and we ultimately did a trade, and boom, I now have the Analogue Pocket. I can't really do a formal unboxing of it, so here's what I got. The Analogue Pocket goes for a sleek, minimalist design, and even the box sticks with that theme. The box is super smooth and it almost has this like Apple box glide when you open it up. It's really satisfying. There aren't any physical manuals, only this QR code that directs you to the digital one. And of course, the branded USB-C cord is the only other thing in this box. The guy I met up with was actually super nice, and he threw in a screen protector for me, but you can actually get them on Amazon for pretty cheap. What's great about this device is that it is pretty much ready to go right out of the box. Simply pop in a cartridge, play it right away. You are all set. It has a 3.5-inch 615 ppi 1600 by 1440 screen. And let me tell you right now, this thing is crisp. Honestly, my first impression when I turned this thing on was, goddamn, I don't remember Fire Red looking this good, especially comparing to my Game Boy Advance SP. The thing that stood out the most to me is, you know how sometimes on larger screens they just kind of stretch the pixels out so everything looks a little warped and distorted? This doesn't do that. This keeps the pixel ratio the exact same and just makes it better, so it is just the most crisp image there is. One of the best features about this thing is the sleep and wake function. No more having to wait for a save point or completing a level or any of that. You don't have to worry about your mom or your significant other yelling at you to hurry up and save the game, to get in the car, we're going to church. All you have to do is click the power button and it goes to sleep. You click it to wake it back up and you are right exactly where you left off. This thing also has a link cable port, which is pretty cool considering the games that I play, like Pokemon, half of it is battling and trading. No other emulation device or anything else other than the original hardware has that functionality. Obviously, there are other games that use the link cable port, but most of them aren't really relevant. However, you are still able to connect up to 4 units, so games like Zelda 4 Swords and Mario Kart Super Circuit are going to be awesome times to spend with 4 of your friends. I'm 100% in the works for setting up a 4-person gaming session with my podcast, the Game Pack Podcast, so please, go and subscribe to the channel. It would mean a lot to me. Really, there aren't a lot of flaws with this device. The fact that you're ready to go out of the box is huge, but you can actually take it a step further and emulate games as well. There are a couple different ways to do this, but the easiest way that I found was to download a program called the Pocket Updater, which I will have a link for down in the description below. All you need to do is unzip the file, drag and drop the exe file onto a micro SD card, and load it up. From there, I would recommend going to the Manage Cores button and selecting all of the different consoles you want. At this point in time, there are quite a few of them, so I really only selected the main ones like Super Nintendo and Game Boy Color, all of the relevant systems. But if you want, you can keep all of them, and all you have to do is hit Update Pocket. It automatically finds the most recent update for the Pocket and reformats your SD card perfectly. So after that, all you need to do is drag and drop the ROMs into the appropriate common folders and you're good to go. And emulation runs amazingly smooth on this thing. It even passed the Yoshi's Island test, which is a super difficult game to emulate. And the best part about this emulation is that you're still able to use the link cable port. I don't know any other system that is able to do that. Now, unfortunately, the sleep and wake function does not work for the emulation, but maybe in an upcoming update they will fix that. There are a bunch of other cool features that I haven't really been able to test, including a DAW, which is a digital audio workstation called Analogue. It's a synthesizer and sequencer used for music creation. So far, I've really only gotten it to do a couple beeps and boops, but if you're into that, it has it. Analogue also teamed up with GB Studio, which is a game creator. So if you're looking at getting into game creation, they have a super easy application that you can work with, and then you can actually put those files onto your Analogue Pocket and just test and play the game. It's super cool. Both of these things I've really wanted to try out, but I've literally only had this thing for like a week. So I promise I'll come back and I'll do a more in-depth review on these functions. Really, my only complaint about this thing is the price and the wait time if you don't already have it. Now you can still pre-order one for $220 US, but that's not including shipping and taxes and everything else included with that. Plus, as we've already said, it's just coming sometime in 2023. Maybe you all get lucky, so it comes out in January, but realistically, it probably won't be here for 6 to 9 more months. What's even more disappointing is that if you already had one and you wanted an accessory like the dock accessory that it comes with, which allows you to have an HDMI out, play it on your big screen, that's also on pre-order. So again, we don't know what time that's coming. That kind of sucks. I really want the dock accessory because how cool would it be to play your original games up on a big screen, or for me personally, to play it live on stream when I put it through my capture card. And I know I can play through emulation, but there's just something different about playing on the original hardware. Or in this case, the new hardware. Also, I just found out you can't go for world records on emulators. So I'm kind of wondering if I can go for world records on this thing. Something to look into. Either way, this device is both stunning in aesthetics and gameplay. It also has a unique feature set with the DAW and the emulation and the proprietary game development software. Really, there's something for everyone on this device, regardless of your experience level. I would definitely recommend getting this for your game collection, or honestly, if you just want to play original hardware games. The Analogue Pocket is awesome, and I highly recommend it. So please, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.